Hi guys. I don't really know if anybody's going to be up right now, but I was feeling well enough to do a check-in and just wanted to say hi to some people who might be up. It's like 11:30 at night, really. Who's going to be up? I'll wait for a couple minutes and or not even maybe just like a minute or so, see if anybody joins, and then I'll talk to you guys a little bit about kind of what's going on with me. So, I obviously, for those of you that don't know, have spent a lot of time in the hospital this year. You guys might have seen my live prior. Um, you might not have, you might not know at all. I kept a lot of it really private for the most part. Only the people closest to me knew. And I want to be a little bit more transparent about it because another thing a lot of people don't know is that I've taken a lot of courses, some Yale, some different, courses, psychology, and intro to psych. And, you know, not that I'm going to go that far, but I have been doing some life coaching. And I believe that I'm good at that because I have had so many experiences in one lifetime and I've lived through and I've overcame, okay? And this is, yet another one that will be. So I, on February 1st of 2019, came to surprise one of my dancers, Kimmy, who didn't think I was going to make it for her birthday. We set a birthday party up for her at Vera. She didn't think I was going to make it. I got was in Florida, got my son off the plane coming home from Florida, rushed home, unpacked, got him ready for bed, got myself ready to go out, went out, enjoyed most of the night because I got there kind of late. And then by the time that the night was ending, my dancers, because I have own the company of the dancers that are there, we're talking in the back, and my girlfriend Kimmy, it was her birthday, and I reached down, or bent down to speak to her, and everybody just kind of turned and looked at me and was like, what? And I repeated myself, and they were like, lay down. And at first I didn't really know what was going on. I couldn't speak. I could not move any of my limbs. When I was speaking, sounded like I was drunk, but everybody that knows me, I don't drink. If I do, I have like 1 or 2 shots of Jameson, and that's very, very rare. And it's especially rare to have that second shot. I typically like to be in control of myself at all times, and the bartender had even come in and said, she had one drink and then the rest was water. So no one really understands what's going on for me at one point. They even had to hold my head for me to get sick because I couldn't hold my head and I was kind of like choking. I couldn't walk myself out. I couldn't sit up. I was like, when they were sitting me up, I was like crying to lay back down because the room felt like I was on a ride, one of those ones that like spins you like teacups or something. So, I ended up being carried out, by my good friend Alicia, carried me out, and I went home. I was taken to the hospital, and I had denied it because a month prior, my father figure had passed in a hospital, and I just didn't want to be there. I didn't trust. There was a lot going on, okay? So I didn't go. And I went home. I couldn't feed myself. My son's father was actually the person that came to get me. We were friends here and there for the most part. He did come to get me, and I could not feed myself. He had to feed me. Long and short, I sleep through the night, wake up, I still don't have my motor functions back, really. Go to the hospital and find out that I've had a mini stroke. So I get admitted to the hospital, and they're doing testing, checking my brain, everything, and they end up finding out that I have a carotid dissection. So my carotid artery had split, which led to me getting rushed to Cooper, to ICU, and where they went in to do the angio, went to my groin, went all the way up my main vessels, went here, and unfortunately, where it is right at the base of my brain, into my brain. So what I have is beading, and or like an opening, and then it's like a very severe stenosis, or it could look like stenosis open in my brain. And currently, right now, it is unsafe for anyone around here to be able to handle it. I was diagnosed with what's called fibromuscular dysplasia. Most doctors have never even heard of it. I've only had one doctor of all my specialists that have ever even heard of it. And the plan now is to get me to Johns Hopkins or the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida for forever care. I have since then had 12 documented mini strokes. I have had more that I did not go to the hospital for. I most of that from this year has been that I've been through tests. At one point, it was almost every day of my life, sometimes 3 a day, sometimes 2 a day, or it'd be a doctor and then testing and then, finding out the results of things. Every 3 months, I have to go through CTAs of the head, neck, chest, abdomen, pelvis. And it's not exactly the healthiest thing, but they have to see how my main vessels are doing all the time, because what fibromuscular dysplasia does is it can do that to all of them. So I had a little scar here. I had a cardiac cath, and thank God my aorta looks good. However, in this amount of time in a year, obviously we knew about the right carotid. I've had extremely high blood pressure. 210/140 was the first time I was rushed to the hospital for it. And they couldn't figure out why. They found out that I have a over 60% stenosis in my right kidney. So which makes my blood pressure go up. Now, when my blood pressure goes up, it's beating against this issue that I have here, the beating, and likely what tore it open. So it's either that or it's getting caught in the beating, trying to pump through it at such a ridiculous, quickness and beat that it's making little clots that are then affecting the blood flow through my brain. I actually have, sorry, there's people messaging me. I actually have found and been tested in a machine that shows that I do have a blood flow disruption. So for the last year, a lot of people joke that I've spent more time in the hospital than out. Most of you did not know that. I've kept it pretty private. It's been, oh no, I'm not going to do this. It's been a hell of a journey. I have lost memories that are short term. I have had to learn how to walk properly again several times. I have forgot how long I was in labor for. I forgot, my son's really important things in life. And each one that happens, it kind of continues to get worse. It is extremely rare disease, so rare that there are 13 people who treat it in all of America. There are only a few specialists, and typically when people get it, they only get it in one area, so it would be the carotid. Unfortunately, within a year, it's already changing to affect my left carotid. It's in my right carotid in the brain. It's in my right kidney. There's an argument that it's in both kidneys. It is the hepatic is blown out to the liver. I have something growing on the liver that they're figuring out. And then the most recent thing is I am bleeding internally. So they believe right now for me to have ischemic colitis, which means that the vessels are closing off and closing my intestines off and making a blockage. So they went into, I don't care about any of this. My life is an open book. So if this grosses you out, my bad. I don't care. They went in for a colonoscopy. They had to do a sigmoidoscopy, which they could only get 2 feet into my intestines. For the blockage, they couldn't even get the camera in, which is relatively small, and your intestines are that big. So again, I'm rushed to Penn. I'm bleeding internally. They were again looking at, they don't know what to do with me because no one, they don't typically see this. So I had spent 2 weeks there. I had checked myself out on Thanksgiving because I wanted to go home to my son. Thanksgiving is a day in the hospital where nothing's going to get done. That 4-day weekend, nothing much gets done. Doctors go on their vacations and take care of their families and stuff. But people who are suffering and internally bleeding like me sit there and wait for the entire weekend. So it wasn't until Monday that they went in again. And did a bunch of, biopsies, and now magically everything looks good. The blockage is not there currently. Right now, they believe that it can come back and then heal itself, and then everything will look okay. And then at some point, it will not heal itself. And originally, what they sent me to Penn, the thought was, and what I was told was that they were going to have to cut out the part of the intestines that was closed off, and that I would have to live on a bag and for a little bit, and that they had, great hope that they'd be able to reconnect it with those 2 feet that I had. So I'm currently still going through that, where it hasn't been figured out, and I don't want to sit in a hospital because they really don't have many answers for me until I get up and physically move my life. Now, the thing about that is it happened during the middle of a pandemic where I'm spending my savings just trying to live. And now I have to get up and move to another state, and all of these things, and it becomes an issue where I don't know. If anybody knows this, if anybody knows of organizations that can help for situations like this, because your insurance company will not help with that, and it is my forever care. Like, I will stay there, and they will take care of everything. I do have family in Florida, thank God, so that's my decision, kind of, is to go there over John Hopkins. But this leads me into where I am, right now. I ended up, coming home because on the year anniversary where I was in the hospital, and would have been the year anniversary when all of this started on December 1st, I got the phone call that my father was rushed to the hospital. Like I said, thank God he's okay. It's been hell, and then on top of it, there's a million other things that I'm dealing with that, I don't really talk to people about. But being that I've gone into this place where I'm life coaching, I'm trying to help others, and I want to be positive in the sense of being a role model, because there are other people that are going through things with extremely rare diseases, and they feel this sense of hopelessness that I feel. And I think that, people need to see somebody that everybody thinks, I live this life in their mind that is, perfect, or not necessarily perfect, but like, I have everything that I want, or everything I need, that I'm doing so well, and I'm constantly hustling and this and that, and I'm not. I'm constantly in pain. I'm constantly sick. I'm going through a lot, and it's taking a huge mental toll on me. But if I can help those who are going through things, and it's taking a mental toll on them, and I can speak out and say, like, you're not alone, that not only is there a pandemic going on, and not only are people losing their jobs and losing their homes and losing, like, all of that, like, I've been battling for my life for a year now. And, I've been blessed in the fact that, like, it has, the mini strokes have not been a full on obvious, like, take anything from me. So what the disease does is it makes it very easy for blood clots to form, aneurysms, heart attacks, strokes, all of that. And then on top of it, I have stenosis in places. So, it cuts off the blood flow, say my kidneys. My blood pressure is not controllable. So when it's 210 over 140, the damage that it's doing to your body, and they can't do anything to control it because there's a stenosis. And they can't balloon my carotid to make it so that I don't have mini strokes, because the risk right now is that when you do brain surgery, there's a risk, right, of bleeding and clotting. And so I'm in a place where it's happening, and I'm, thank God, just having mini strokes. And then the other side of it is, we do it, we fix it. I might never have one again, and, or God forbid, the opposite, So, I want to talk more about, like, rare diseases. I want to talk to people who are going through illnesses. I want to talk to people who are going through hard times. When I reach out to you guys and say I want to do a mental health or a mental wellness check-in, it's because I'm going through something, and helping others helps me. I'm not sure why, it does. It's not like I'm not concentrating on myself. It's not anything like that. It's just, I want to be here to help others. I think that's what I was meant to do. And, I love my entertainment company, and I'm going to keep that. Obviously, that's a part of my life, and I want to have many sources of incomes. But if I can help people that have rare diseases and that are going through something and they need a life coach, if I can help people that feel like they're losing everything and life is spinning out of control and I can help them, I want to be able to help them. If I can help parents of children with autism, because I went through that situation as well, and I thought that's where my life coaching was going to be angled towards. But I've come to realize that it's literally anybody, because we're all going through the same type of things. We're all connected. It's just a matter of, having somebody to talk to. So I would like not only to do the, mental health check-ins or the, wellness check-ins, or whether it's wellness Wednesdays or Saturdays that I was doing, whatever it was. I am in pain. I am sick right now, so I'm kind of just trying to do it as much as I can. But work on things like I just put a YouTube video up. So a lot of you don't know I have a YouTube channel. I unbox things, beauty stuff. I do it for companies. And I use products, and it's a lot. My YouTube channel. I think right now what I'm working on people with is trying to bring in the beauty part of working with your inside and, all your outside while you're doing that, because a lot of times we're not working on our insides. So what I'll say to you, which is the not homework, but if we all want to do this together to hold ourselves accountable, is the way that we speak to each other in this time. Is people a lot of times don't feel worthy. They're losing their jobs. They feel depressed. They feel less than. Whatever you may be going through, I've heard a lot of people talking mean about themselves. So whether it's like, I feel ugly for when I'm doing beauty stuff, on YouTube, or whether it's I feel worthless, I've just lost my job, any of those things. Anytime you think something bad about yourself or think something bad about what's going on in the world, I want you guys to do me this. Every time you think one bad thought, I need you to replace it with 3 good thoughts. So if it's one bad thought about the way you look, I need you to replace it with 3 good things about the way you look. If it's one bad thing about fear, we can't lead by fear in everything that's going on with this world. I had to learn very quickly this year to not lead with fear, because every time I'm put to sleep for a procedure, it's fear. It's me and my son, and nothing will take me from him. That I know for sure, but it's that fear ahead of time that, you guys could imagine. So I think that right now we need to practice things that help our mental well-being in a way of uplifting it, instead of just ignoring it and hoping it'll get better and making excuses that it'll get better when we have a stimulus check, or it'll get better when the virus is gone, and all of these things. Stop fighting with each other, because there are people that are suffering with serious things, and start doing things that can help your mental well-being. Take a group of your friends and make a pact with each other to, whenever you're in fear, name 3 things that that you have under control, because fear really stems from feeling out of control. And with everything going on, there's 0 chance that we're not going to have trauma throughout this as we grow, and as our children do as well. So I would even say do it with your children. If you hear them say something negative, have them say 3 positive things. Let's break these generational curses. Let's find positive ways to see really horrible things. And that's where I've been. That's where my mind's been. That's where I'm trying to keep myself. That's the story of, in short, of what's been going on in my life. I have spent, pretty much more days in the hospital than not, and I've kept it kind of to myself, and I don't want to do that. And I've explained in a video before that I didn't want to do that. And then what did I do? I stopped doing it again, because I feel that shame of, I don't want people feeling bad for me. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want putting my burdens on others. It shouldn't be how it is, because when you care about other people, they're not burdens. I need you all to remember that. Like, your friends care about you, and you can always check in with a friend and say, hey, I'm really going through something right now. Is it okay if I unload on you right now? Are you in a good space? And make sure that they're in a good space, and then be a friend. Hear your friends out. We need to work on things with each other. I know I talk about, unpacking emotions every night. I talk about that a lot. I want us all to practice one negative thought, three positive thoughts. One putting ourselves down, three lifting ourselves up. And weekly, I want to get on and, have another way of us challenging our inner circles and our groups, or whether it's you and I holding each other accountable for things, and work on this so that we can work through this in a positive way, so that when it's ending or ended, we're not left with so much PTSD because we're taking control of it now. And the reason I know that is because of what I'm going through, and if you know somebody that is going through something with illness, or going through something with a rare disease, or feel scared because, they might have gotten a call that, they have to go get a biopsy for something, send them my way. If you have a child and you think that there are signs that they're showing that they might have autism, send them my way. I went through all of those things, and I would love to help, and I would like to take more of my life coach and make it more. I want to do so much more with it. I want to help people heal. That's all I keep doing is taking classes in psychology, and I love my company. I love all of my girls. I love everybody that's a part of it. I love every company I work with, every venue I work with. I just feel like I'm meant for more, and I would really love and appreciate you sending anybody my way that you think, might be able to, or if you think you need a life coach, to come to me and see if I'd be a right fit for you. We can go back and forth and discuss things. But weekly, I would like to get on and see if we can all keep each other accountable with different, I don't want to call them homeworks, but kind of homeworks. I know it's late and there's not a lot of people on, but if anybody wants to talk right now about, what they're going through, or if they need help with anybody, I'd love to talk. It does look like somebody actually requested. Oh, all right, let's see how this goes. Somebody did request to be on.
So, unfortunately, at this point, I did try to bring somebody in and we couldn't do that. And I lost the rest of the audio for everything else. So, I just really wanted to say thank you for spending this time with me and caring enough to get to know me. I hope that I'm able to find a really great way to incorporate our beauty boxes and our beauty on the outside with healing and beauty on the inside as well. Have a wonderful night or day wherever you are.